Hello and welcome to a new episode of the AI generated podcast show. I'm your host Michael, and today we have a special guest who is the CEO of the Mittelstand. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, Michael, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm really excited to chat about AI and the Mittelstand and just share some thoughts and experiences. So let's dive right in.
Amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about your history in Mittelstand, and you can also call it mid-market for our non-German speaking audience. And what's your experience like being a CEO in Germany and trying to, survive a economic downturn?
Absolutely. So the Mittelstand or mid-market is really the backbone of the German economy. I've been part of this space for over 3 decades now, and it's definitely been a journey of resilience and innovation. As a CEO, you have to balance tradition with new technology, and of course, navigating economic downturns means you really have to stay agile and keep your people motivated. So it's been quite an adventure.
You have to stay agile.
Absolutely. Agility is key. It's all about adapting to new challenges and making sure that we keep our core values while also embracing innovation. It can be a tricky balance, but it's definitely rewarding when you get it right.
It sounds like you're quite optimistic about the future.
I am. I think there's so much potential for growth and improvement. And while it can be daunting, I really believe that if we take it step by step, we'll find that AI can really enhance what we do and help us serve our customers even better.
Okay, that's very cool. Um, how is it about using AI? What's your take on that?
I think using AI is really about finding the right fit for your business. It's not a one size fits all solution. So it really depends on what your company needs. For us, it might be improving efficiency and production, or maybe making customer service a bit more responsive. I do think that as long as we keep our goals clear and stay true to our values, AI can be a great tool.
Okay, well, let me drill down on the production side of things. Which potential do you see actually in the mid-market segment on improving production with AI?
I see a lot of potential, especially in areas like predictive maintenance, where AI can help us anticipate when machines need servicing before they actually break down. It can also optimize workflows and reduce waste, which is always a big plus. Overall, it can make production more efficient and a bit more cost effective in the long run.
Oh, I love that. So you're telling me that when you talk about AI, you mean classical machine learning. You're not even thinking about generative AI or all this agentic AI buzz. You're really thinking of classic use cases that solve real world physical problems.
Exactly. I think starting with those classic machine learning applications that solve tangible, real world problems is a great way to get comfortable with AI. Once we have that foundation, then we can start exploring more advanced things like generative AI. But for now, it's all about practical solutions that we can implement step by step.
What's your biggest hurdles on your AI journey?
I think one of the biggest hurdles is definitely finding the right talent and expertise, since we're not a tech company at our core. Bringing in people who understand AI and can translate it into our business context is a bit of a challenge. Another hurdle is just the cost and complexity of implementing it, and it's a big investment, and we want to make sure we're doing it right without disrupting our existing operations too much.
Okay, gotcha. And how's it with the cost of AI? You're thinking classic machine learning, but then once you think about the cost of AI, is it something where you see ROI, or is it just too high to invest? Or what's your take on that?
I do think there's a potential for a solid ROI, especially when we start small and focus on areas that really matter to our business. Over time, the efficiencies and cost savings can definitely outweigh the initial investment. It's all about being strategic and making sure that we're measuring the impact as we go.
Understood, understood. And so let me quickly pivot to a Gen AI and then agentic AI as well. Now, you said, okay, AI in production is more classic machine learning, but which use cases do you have in mind for generative AI and agentic AI, and how's it with the cost there?
When it comes to generative AI, I see a lot of potential in areas like content creation for marketing, or even generating reports and automating some of the documentation processes that we have. As for agentic AI, that could be really interesting for customer service, where AI agents can handle routine inquiries and free up our human staff for more complex tasks. And of course, the cost is definitely something to consider, but I think if we implement it wisely, the benefits can really justify the investment.
Wow. So honestly, if I may make you a compliment, you're not sounding like the regular CEO who is concerned about costs. And you said already, there's a talent shortage on the market. So you really sound very optimistic when you talk about AI. What are the three things that you're doing in your company to really make that a success?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the optimism really comes from seeing the potential. As for what we're doing to make AI a success, first, we're investing in training our existing teams so they can build up their skills and get comfortable with the technology. Second, we're starting small with pilot projects to test out what works best for us without a huge upfront investment. And finally, we're focusing on collaboration, bringing in external experts and partners to guide us so that we can learn
Oh,
from their
that sounds like a
experience
solid
and
plan.
avoid
And
common
what
pitfalls.
in numbers, if you can share, what is the value that you saved to date in your company using AI?
So far, with the pilot projects we've implemented, we've seen about a 15% reduction in operational costs in those areas. It's still early days, but it's definitely promising, and we expect that number to grow as we
Oh,
expand our
wow.
AI
And
initiatives.
you mentioned agentic AI and CRM. So are you already piloting something there, or is it something you want to explore further?
We're just starting to explore it, actually. We have a few ideas, and we're in the planning phase to see how agentic AI could improve our customer relationship management. It's definitely something we're excited about, and we're hoping to launch a pilot soon to see how it works in
Very cool.
practice.
And when it comes to, change management, that's the last question actually, because then we're running out of time today. So when it comes to change management, how do you lead by example as a CEO?
I think leading by example really means being open to learning and showing that you're willing to embrace new technologies yourself. I try to stay involved and engaged in the process, ask a lot of questions, and encourage the team to do the same. It's really about creating a culture where everyone feels comfortable with change and sees it as an opportunity rather than a challenge.
Amazing. Well, that was a really cool session with you. And thanks for you're short in time. You're really under pressure. Thanks for taking the time with me, and I hope we can meet again once you've done agentic AI on CRM.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure chatting with you. I'm looking forward to sharing more updates once we get that agentic AI pilot going. Thanks again for having me, and we'll definitely catch up soon.
Amazing. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for the great conversation, and take care.